Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. On this channel we post writing tips, unboxings, book hauls, book reviews and the occasional vlog. And today I have another book review for you, and it is The Christmas Murder Game by Alexandra Benedict. It is another Christmas read from the book club I am in here in my hometown, and like it says, it's a Christmas murder mystery. It has a lot of anagrams. One thing I will say is they did take me out of the story a bit, but it has a few things that are a little bit different. At the beginning of the book, you actually get invited to do your own game, and it's the 12 days of anagrams. So throughout the book there are various anagrams, and you have to work out which anagram tells you the story of the 12 days of Christmas. There's also title deeds, which is a second game within the book, which is the titles of 12 of the author's favourite Christmas country house mysteries set at Christmas are sewn throughout the book, so you have to try to find the titles of books. And then I noticed last night, because Matt has now read this one, at the end in acknowledgements it actually has a word search to find the people in the acknowledgements instead of just telling you, which is quite sweet. Though I don't write in books that I own, so although it's really cool and I do enjoy a word search, I will never do that because I can't deface a book. But yes, this was our book club Christmas read. I'll read you guys the blurb. Before we get into that, don't forget, if you like what you see, to subscribe to this channel. Your continued support means a lot, so thank you guys so much. 12 clues, 12 keys, 12 days of Christmas. But who will survive until the 12th night? Lily Armitage is lured back to her grand family home, Endgame House, after receiving an enigmatic letter from her aunt urging her to take part in an annual tradition, the Christmas game. The challenge: solve 12 clues to find 12 keys. The prize: the deeds to the manor house. Lily has no desire to return to the place where her mother died 21 Christmases ago, but her aunt makes a promise. The clues will also reveal her killer. Desperate for the truth, Lily starts to unravel the riddles alongside her estranged cousins. However, it quickly becomes clear that each has their own reasons for wanting the house, and not all of them are playing fair. There is a review on the back which says, if a classic festive murder mystery rings your jingle bells, then settle back in your armchair and enjoy a brilliant claustrophobic crime caper. Interesting word choice. It also has a review on the front from Val McDermott saying, a delicious locked room mystery. Me and Matt had different reviews of this book. He enjoyed it more than me, but then I enjoyed Fourth Wing more than him. He reads a lot of murder mysteries. I do enjoy a murder mystery, but I don't read many of them. And the reason for that is I generally guess who it is too early. I really guessed very early on with this book. I only have 3 quotes from this book. Now, all of them I've tried to make sure are spoiler-free, but I will give you a spoiler alert when I discuss some parts of this book, because I've got to discuss some things with you guys. 3 quotes coming, should not give you any spoilers. So the first quote is from page 22. Lily feels her eyes itching with backed up tears, like she's as allergic to thinking of murder as she is to cats. But that doesn't stop her picking up cats and burying her face in their fur. This really reminded me of my friend Ray, who is allergic to cats, but absolutely loves them, and he also will still cuddle them and pick them up. He just takes drugs beforehand, and it just made me think of him, and I thought it was a really nice and fun way to describe someone's allergy, but also as a definition for murder in a weird way. Page 151. So tell me about. Now this one is less of a quote and more of a situation. So of course this is a murder mystery, a cozy murder mystery. You know a murder is going to occur in this book. When a murder does occur, the person who's left behind, Lily asks them, tell me about, and I won't put the name in here so you don't know who's been murdered. But I thought it was very wholesome and a good way of, when someone loses someone, maybe this is just a question we should ask the person, because to offer comfort to someone when someone has died is really difficult. But to just ask them to talk about that person is probably really, wholesome for that person and reassuring. So I just thought that was a really good way to show how to help someone through grief. And the final quote is page 297. It's why she thinks marriage vows are strange. Why until death do you part? Doesn't love carry on after death? And I just thought that was really true and sweet. You don't stop loving someone just because they've passed away. So that was lovely. So this book, it is a cozy murder mystery. It all takes place in one house, and there are multiple murders throughout this book, and a murder and a historic murder that our main character Lily is trying to solve. The clues are given through poems with loads of anagrams in them, and throughout there are anagrams for the game the author has given you to play. Now, I hated those because they just came across as spelling mistakes for me, and I understood why they were there, but it just took me out of the story. The story itself, even Matt said this, it takes the first 100 to 150 pages to actually get into the story, because there's just a lot of what feels like filler at the beginning before the game actually begins. So that's really slow to read. Once the game does begin, it's quite fun, but as I said earlier, I guessed the murderer far too quickly. Matt, however, didn't, so depends on the kind of reader you are and what you like of murder mysteries, but also what clues you use. So Matt was actually trying to work it out from the anagrams that are in the poems, and he was trying to work it out from deeds that the person had done. I got it with the character type, basically, which I'll explain to you after I say spoiler zone. It is a very easy read. It's a fast read. I'm not entirely sure how I feel, but we'll go through that in my overall view with my marks out of 10. I'm going to say spoiler alert now. I want to tell you guys how I found the murderer. It was too easy for me, but spoiler alert. I guessed who the murderer was when Lily is locked in the ice house and the murderer comes to let her out of the ice house, and I knew that was the murderer because how would he have known that she was in there? He says it's because she was bashing against the door, but we know because she stopped bashing against the door that that is not the case, because she stopped bashing it very quickly. She also very quickly gives up, which was a bit pointless. So that's when I guessed the murderer. I also guessed who was helping out as soon as she was locked in the ice house because of the memory of when the character had locked her in a room when they were children and playing hide and seek. Now, that might just be me. I also found the pregnancy references kind of annoying because it didn't actually give any bearing to the book. It had the idea that if she's pregnant, that the house has to go to that child. But because even when it was found out, no one actually properly reacted to it, it made no sense. It really didn't have any bearing. Now, you could say it had a bearing on that he was obviously going to have to kill her because if she survived, she would automatically get the house because of the child. But I think he would have killed her anyway. So it just didn't make any difference to me. But I guess that's the only way you could say it would, which I guess kind of is fair enough. Yeah, I don't know. I also found the romance between Isabel and Lily a bit boring. Like, they fancied each other when they were kids, they haven't seen each other for years, and then they automatically immediately fancy each other straight away. Lily also fancied Holly in the lesbian couple, which again, I just thought, stop trying to steal your cousin's partner. But it was just, she didn't need to fancy Isabel, she didn't need to fancy Holly, and then she didn't need to fancy Tom. Why was she having to fancy everyone? Well, it might just be me. As you can see, it's definitely not my favourite book. And welcome back if you're here from the spoiler-free zone. I'm now going to go into my overall review of this book and my scores out of 10. So for enjoyment, I gave it 6 out of 10 for me. Writing style, 5. Plot, 4. It was just so obvious to me, and it did use most of the tropes, which I don't mind tropes, but I found some of these a bit cliche, like the murderer always being the super helpful one. World building, 8. You did really know the building. Characterization, 3. The characters had no character arc and had nothing to them. Sarah was a bitch throughout. Gray was quiet throughout. The lesbian couple were just there because they were a lesbian couple. There wasn't enough to them. Even to Lily, our main person, there wasn't much. And at the beginning of the book, we've spent far too long talking about how Lily makes corsets. Like, again, it just didn't end up being that relevant. Representation, I'm going to give 4. Wasn't represented well for me. And originality, 3. Stars out of 5 overall. I can't give it a 2 because the last book I gave a 2-star, I DNF'd. I didn't DNF this, I did read it all. So I'm going to give it 3 stars. You know, I might just need to give the book that I DNF'd a 1 star. Technically, if you DNF a book, it should be a 1 star, right? The reason I didn't give it a 1 star was because other people really enjoyed it, but maybe I should change it to 1 star. So I can change the Pumpkin Spice Cafe to 1 star and have this as 2 star. Oh, brain. No. Yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. Oh, I'll give it 3 stars because I didn't hate reading it. It is written well. I think one of the main issues I had, and it's probably just me, I found the author was trying to be too clever. Like the writing was trying to be really Christmassy and extra flowery, but it just wasn't pulled off for me. And the author trying to be clever with their writing just kept taking me out of the overall story, which to me, when you're reading a book or writing a book, the story has to come first. But that might just be me. I do read literature, but this wasn't coming across as literature either. Yeah, I'll give it 3 stars. I would recommend, if you like cozy murder mysteries, to read this one. Matt enjoyed it more than me. So if you do like murder mysteries, do read this. It is a fast, easy Christmas read. I guess it's a good stocking filler one. 2 or 3 star. That's going to haunt me. And that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this review. If you like what you see, don't forget to subscribe to this channel. If you'd like to see it as soon as I upload, click that little bell down below. You can also follow me on Instagram, Facebook, and Tumblr. I post my bookish pictures as well as more writing tips and unboxings on there. And thanks for watching, guys. Bye!